All right, since I have both of these cars here, I thought I'd make a quick video on the differences between a 108 and a 109 Mercedes-Benz, as well as a US car, which is a 108, and a European car, which is a 109, as well as the differences between some year changes. This is a 1970 and this is a 1968. So each of those three things causes a few differences in these cars. Obviously very similar cars to the casual observer. They're going to look like the same car. But between you and me, these are completely different automobiles. So let's get into it. So since I have these cars here, and I don't always have them together that often, I thought I would show you a few things. So if we look here first at the front end, we'll start with some Euro and US differences. So the Euro car over here, you notice fog lights, and you're going to notice here you have turn signals in the headlight group, versus on the US car, you've got your turn signals here, no fog lights, and the headlight group is just marker lights. So that's one of the differences between a Euro car and a US car. Now, you might notice if you're, Hawkeye, that this Euro car has side marker lights, and of course, so does the US car. This, to the best of my knowledge, this car was federalized at some point in time in the past, when in its contemporary age, that would have caused it to have the lights installed. All right. Beyond that, if we go a little farther, now just between 109 and 108 differences, you notice on the 109, you have bright work on the A-pillar and around the windows. And on the 108, you have a painted A-pillar, painted window surrounds with a small amount of chrome. That was the difference between a 108 and a 109, regardless of the year. Both of these cars are sunroof cars. They're identical in that regard. If we go back around to the back to some Euro-US differences, you're going to notice the license plate lighting on the US car versus the license plate lighting on the Euro car, much different. So, kind of details, but differences. The big difference between the two cars, though, is that right there and this right here. The 108's a 2.8 liter six-cylinder. The 109 is a 6.3 V8. So major difference that way. So underneath these two cars, then, the 108 is a spring suspended car. Pretty standard for the era, of course, and to this day, but it's a spring suspended car. The 109 is an air suspended car. So under the hood, there's an air pump, there's an air tank, there's air controls inside that raise and lower the suspension. So major differences between the two cars that way. Additionally, the 109 has a limited slip differential, and the 108 does not. The 109 in this case with a 6.3, much different transmission than the 108 car with the 6. So those are some of the differences. Now, if we go inside the two cars, you've got a little upgraded interior. The 109s had a wood surround. They had a higher quality wood in the interiors than the 108s. In the case of some year differences, if we get to the interior here, the dash, in the case of a 68, we've got this center molded component, which a later car, a 1970, would not have had. The other thing you have here, if you're going to notice our shifter, it's in park right now. So the 68s had a what I'll call a reverse shifter. So the park is toward the back and drive is forward. In addition, they had a different console, if you would. This is just a wood bin versus center console, and we'll take a look at that in the 108 here. So if we go over to the 108, then you notice that it's this is a year difference. The center console is different. The shifter is parked to the forward, and our window controls are in the center. So difference due to a year. This car also had, air quotes, factory air. So that's a little different installation of the air conditioner. Also, the 108s are going to have a clock in the center of the binnacle. In this case as well, just a lower grade of wood, a mahogany wood in this case. And the other thing is, you notice on the door panels, no wood trim. All right. Now, also in 1970, the wood surrounds of the 109 cars were gone. I'm not sure that the 108s ever had wood surround in here, but major difference there too. If we go over here to the 109, get in the driver's side, then again, wood surround, much higher quality wood. But also, due to being a 68, we've got the window controls on the door. And being a 109, the clock is here. We have a tachometer in the center of the console instead. This car is aftermarket AC, and it looks quite a bit different than the 109, or I'm sorry, than the 108. This 109 car was restored, and it was originally delivered with a velour interior, not leather. Mighty V8 motor, the N versus the 6. These 108s are sweet cars to drive, and it really is something. They're both really fun cars to drive, and I like them both. What can I say? The one thing about the 108 is with the 6 is that these will run down the road at highway speeds at a much higher RPM than you're used to, and that's the way they were designed. Other than that, I'm sure there's probably things I'm leaving out, but I don't want this video to get too long. This car happens to be very original. It's to the best that I can determine, it's a 47,000 mile car. I've got all the original receipts and the original invoice, all that kind of thing. Interestingly enough, they ordered air conditioning, but they didn't order a radio in this car, and it doesn't have one to this day. So there you have it. So a few differences between 108s, 109s, differences between early W108 and 109s and later ones, as well as the difference between a US and a Euro car. So hopefully you enjoyed it.